Buonasera, today I'll be doing another kiddies-friendly dish with aubergines. I've mentioned in other videos and aubergines are incredibly versatile as vegetables. So having sliced them diagonally so that they look a little bit prettier, I've put them inside a baking tin with some baking paper and I'm just drizzling a little olive oil on top, and I'm spreading the oil as much as I can using a little brush. Pinch of salt on top. Aubergines ready. I have peeled some potatoes earlier. These are from our garden.
That's why they're a bit holy, everybody.
Yes, I've removed some unwanted
Sorry, the
friends.
slugs kind of like them.
And I'm giving the potatoes a very similar treatment to the aubergines. Weight-wise, by the way, the aubergines weigh just under 600 grams and the potatoes just under 500. Little olive oil on top of my potatoes with a pinch of salt. This is oregano and I'm trying to do about 1 teaspoon. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And I'll give the same amount in sweet paprika. And I'll mix everything together. Second baking tray with another layer of paper. Potatoes go on top, and I'll spread them all across so that they are not overlapping. Oven at temperature 180 degrees, they'll go in for 20 minutes together, aubergines and potatoes. I'm about to clean one medium-sized leek. I just remove the very top layer. I'll cut it in half first, and I'll chop it in little half moons. Olive oil. And once the oil is nice and hot, I'll add my leek. And I'll leave this to sizzle for a good couple of minutes. And I'm now adding some tomato passata. Tiny little amount of water to just wash the jug. My next ingredient is capers. It could be a little bit of a controversial ingredient with children. In my case, my children, when they were little, they didn't particularly love them, but they did not even...
They didn't complain.
Didn't complain. So I used them, so entirely up to you, but I will be putting one full level dessert spoon. And I'm not going to drain them because I'm not going to be adding any salt to this sauce, so they will carry some salt and that'll be good enough. I'm now fishing some sun-dried tomatoes from my olive jar. I keep these in oil, but you can also use the dry ones. They were dry before I put them in oil anyway. And again, just like the capers, if your children are dead against the sun-dried tomatoes, you don't have to put them in, but they will add a nice flavor to the whole meal. And now we'll add them to the sauce. I'm now adding some oregano to the sauce as well. Again, quantities to taste. In my case, it was about half a teaspoon, and I will add also some pepper. And I'll give it a quick mix and I'll leave it to continue cooking on a medium heat for about 5 minutes. And I'm ready to put the meal together. Sauce is done. Make sure that you don't make it too liquidy, by the way, so this is nice and sloppy. Also the aubergines, when I sliced them, they were approximately 1 centimeter. Do not make them too thick, otherwise it'll take forever. And of course the potatoes, they are lovely and crispy. Again, I didn't do them too thick, and you can actually eat them on their own. And they're lovely. And the next part is really straightforward and actually quite fun as well. And maybe your children can help if you like. So I'm putting a layer of aubergines at the bottom of my oven dish. This is half of the quantities of aubergines. Likewise, I split my sauce in half and I'm doing one layer on top of my aubergines. Doing sure they're properly covered because the sauce will help them cook further. I pinch half of the potatoes and I will place them on top of my sauce. This is fresh mozzarella which I've just grated, but you can also use the normal long life which you would use for pizza. And I'll start again. I'll go along and do another layer of aubergines. Press them down with my hand to ensure that everything is nice and compacted. This time, before the potatoes, I'm putting the rest of my sauce on top of the aubergines. I'll put the rest of my mozzarella next. This is my order. You can follow any order you like. I like to have the potatoes at the end, but if you want to put the potatoes first, go ahead. There isn't a rule. However, do ensure that the mozzarella is also spread across the entire surface. And as I mentioned earlier, I do fancy finishing with potatoes on the top. And I'll finish with a generous sprinkle of Parmesan cheese. But if your children or you don't like Parmesan cheese, you can use no cheese or any cheese you like. Back in the oven, still at temperature 180 degrees, fan assisted, 200 if it's a normal convention, another 20 minutes until everything is lovely and golden and cooked.
Ooh, look at that.
And there it is, literally 20 minutes exactly. Looks bubbly still, which is lovely. I will leave it for 5 minutes and then we will serve it. I'm going along with the spatula, and as the sauce is very dense, it is very easy to loosen it from the edges. And let's take a look. Lovely and melty. And off he goes.
I must say, this does smell lovely. Oh, still attached.
And if you've done the job right, you should find stringy mozzarella coming out from all over the place, which you can eat. This can be clearly a side dish, especially if it's cold, or it can be a main meal. In our case tonight it will be a main meal. And as a side dish, we're gonna have a little salad actually. This is just an avocado with some olives, some tomatoes and basil. Nothing fancy, but delicious. Very, very hot, so be careful. Really nice, and actually the aubergines are a little bit crunchy, which is quite nice, and the potatoes are also still a little bit crispy. And one thing that maybe I would suggest you did if you cooked it, a little bit more oregano. But I like it as it is, but children, especially if you're cooking for children, they might like with a little bit more oregano, and it gives a little bit of a pizza flavor. Really good. Arrivederci, grazie, and buon appetito. Ciao.